like you all to just close your eyes for a minute. All of you. And I want you to imagine a classroom. And in that classroom are many boys and girls sitting at their desks. And there's a teacher, and there's a board. But in the corner of that classroom is a child. And that child isn't facing the class. That child is facing the wall. That child is being told that they're a failure, that they're not good enough, that they will be nothing in their life. And as the child turns around and goes back to his seat where he was told to sit, the class laugh. And that child's confidence is crushed. Just open your eyes. That was me. And I think there are many little boys and girls here who have had their confidence crushed, don't you think? So I dedicated the rest of my life to hand-holding the little boy and the little girl inside what I thought was one of the most needed communities, the creative community. A community of phenomenal, talented introverts that have branded and created some of the best products and services that we've all bought and even fallen in love with and are critical in our life. And those people really needed it. And for my 27 years, I defended them. I supported them. I gave them wings so that they could feel no fear, but the confidence in what their brilliant talent and skill was. But in the last few years, as I was doing this, something started to niggle me. I was looking at the news, and it wasn't just the marketers and the brands and the products and services that needed the confidence and the voice of the creatives that I would work with and the creatives' confidence that I was working alongside. I noticed that the community was starting to wane in their confidence. We were starting to doubt each other. We were starting to become fearful. We were looking at the world around us with terror. And it scared me. What scared me more is many of the friends around me who I'd looked up to and was inspired by were starting to spin. I decided to send an email to 6 friends. And I was frustrated because I wanted to help them. And I said, guys, we're going to do a sort your shit out weekend. They did. We all got together a month later. And as we all gathered and talked, the people started to tell their stories. The guys started to express themselves. And it was when one guy, Dave, stood up and told what he wanted to do, what he believed he could do. But when he put his head down and started to cry, it held me back. And I said, Dave, what's up, man? He said, I thought it was just me. I thought it was just me that was scared. I know I could do all these things. And what surprised me is Dave has been a 6 times published author. He's climbed several of the highest summits in the world. He's crossed the empty quarter eating his camel at the end of it to survive. Yet he felt he was useless. He felt his background and what he'd done was not relevant for going forwards. And I was shocked. And it supported my worry about the mental health crisis, the suicide rate of children now going up. And I realized at that point that I had to stop making products and services look phenomenal and feel great. And I had to make people look phenomenal and feel great and give them wings. And so I launched a new venture. And I gathered it. But I had to look at myself and work out where was the confidence in me? Where were my mentors? And I realized I was looking at all these mentors in life. In fact, my real father, who died when I was 6 months old, was a candy inventor, one of the world's best candy inventors. The licorice lawstop, the jawbreaker, gobstopper, things like this. Incredible man. And I always looked up to him. But I realized as I decided to start this new step in life that he was a romantic mentor because I didn't know him. I didn't have that conversation with him. And he was like the books I was reading on these phenomenal leaders that were telling me what to do. But it was so pure and so clear and so sterilized by ghostwriters that I realized I needed somebody to give me real guidance that I could talk with. And I went back and realized I was given that mentorship and that guidance when I was 18 years old. I talked about that little boy and losing his confidence. Well, that little boy, when he was 18, received his slip on how he'd done in his exams. And when I got that slip and started walking to the car where my stepfather was now waiting to support me, I opened the slip to see how I'd done with the exam results. And as I looked down, my heart fell through my legs. I had failed everything. Not badly, terribly. As I walked to the car with legs made of lead, I sat down next to my father, and I said, I'm here. He said, how did you do, son? I said, I've let you down. I failed everything. And that weight was bad enough for a child to share with a parent. But my stepfather, who stood in for those 4 children after my father passed away, was a headmaster. And I was the last of the children to graduate, and I was going to be the pinnacle example of what he dedicated his life and his career to. Not only that, 4 months earlier, his wife, my mother, had died of cancer as well. So now I felt a guilt that a man already on his knees was going to have to try and help a boy up off his knees. And he stopped. He looked forward. He turned and looked at me and he says, Will, you face a wall in life now. And this wall is clouding your vision. What we need to do is we need to pull that wall out so you can see over it. You can see round it. You can see under it. Because this wall is just one wall of many, many, many walls that you will face in the rest of your life. And our job is to see this wall as a hurdle. You told me a story, he said, a few years ago about the wall around the boarding school you were in. I said, yes. He said, you told me that once you crawled over that wall, you sneaked out and met a girl and drank for the first time. I didn't actually remember I told him that, so I was a little bit in shock at that point. I said, yes. He said, that wall was not an obstacle then. That wall was exciting. That wall was part of your discovery and fun. And this, that you have failed all your exams, is just another wall for us to climb over and get past. What you need is the belief. What you need are the friends around you that are positive, that will believe in you. And I realized as I stood in the room with those friends that I was starting this retreat with, that they had given me the wings and the confidence. They had made me take this backpack of 27 years of work and trying and doing all these amazing experiences, courses, expeditions, nearly ayahuasca, but I didn't. All these amazing things yet. If I go to another dinner party when somebody asks me if I've had ayahuasca, basically got me to take this backpack off and take all the stuff out. I was too busy filling the backpack with all these amazing things and experiences to stop and realize and celebrate myself. Realize how awesome I really was. And those are the real friends that will help you in life. And I'm afraid if you have your seats around the table filled with people that naysay you, that doubt you, that question, you have to kindly ask them to stand up and bring somebody alongside you that you need and will support you, not just in your mindset, but in the journey forwards. It is those friends that will help you. They will highlight that if the pond that you're in is too small, that the river of life that is out there is where you will go. And you will meet new people. You will see new things. You just have to commit that you're awesome and that you can get past that wall. Because you will meet and do incredible things. But you cannot do it alone. I'd just like you all to hold hands quickly as I close. Like 2 hands, all that. I believe that we're in a confidence crisis era. I believe there are too many little boys and little girls inside of us that are coming out. And I believe that it is only by uniting together, supporting each other, patting each other on the back and saying, you can do this. You're awesome. You're in the island of the gods. You have wings. It is only now, if we have confidence for each other, that we can address the issues in our world. And boy, do we need to help our world now. Thank you.